Welcome to Discover Janesville. My name is Yuri Rashkin, and we are guests today here at Raven's Wish, a gallery in Janesville. And in fact, Raven's Wish is the underwriter of today's episode. And with me today, right now, here sitting, is Alicia Reid, owner of Raven's Wish. Alicia, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. My pleasure.
So, you have this fantabulous store offering all sorts of good things, but you were instrumental in putting together the Art Loop, which I think is a great development because it's a new art project that we didn't have before, and now it's a tradition.
I'm not sure that we're quite at that point yet, but hopefully.
How many times does it take to become a tradition, I wonder?
I don't know. That's an interesting question. We'll see. We'll see.
And that's basically, you had several store owners that came together to address the situation when the Tolman Art Festival had to be canceled this year. And was it 5 or 6 businesses?
There were 5 businesses.
There were 5. And you put out a map, you had artist names, you had this whole procedure where people had to get signatures by different artists. How did you come up with all of this, and how did you put it together?
We were kind of under the gun when Tolman had to be canceled, and we had planned on doing an art loop in the fall, an art tour of some kind. So we just kind of ramped things up. I met with several artists. I met with those business owners that I already had in mind for the fall. They were all willing to run with it and go a little sooner than we had planned. So that was nice. It was nice to have their support. The artists enjoyed being hosted by those businesses. It gave people in the community a chance to possibly go to a business that they had never visited before, being associated with the Art Loop. And it was a gorgeous day. The artists enjoyed people bringing those tickets to them. I think the ticket that you mentioned, it gave people opportunity and incentive to go up and visit with an artist and at least look at their wares. And then we took those tickets at the end of the show and did a drawing for gift baskets that the artists and businesses had donated items for. So it was a fun day. It really was.
See, what impressed me is that out of nowhere, somehow, first thing we know, the Tolman House Art Festival is canceled, and the next thing we know, there's an art loop. There's, everything is all set up and ready to go. How much time did it take to pull something like this together, and how did you think of all the little details like the giveaway and the having signatures from the vendors? And
I stole a lot of that from other.
Good for you. Okay.
From other events. Janesville lent itself, at least on this end of town, to a business-to-business tour. Small independent businesses that maybe not everyone was familiar with, and it was our way to offer that through the medium of art to folks that might get out and see some art and visit a store that they never encountered, that they'd never had the need to go into. So a lot of it was in place, to answer your question, because we were planning on doing the one in the fall. So in a matter of 3 weeks or so, we were able, with a lot of support, to put it together.
Well, it's such a natural fit because, like you said, it really brings people in to existing businesses.
It did, yes.
Even though the shops themselves or the vendors themselves were set up on parking lot adjacent, but all the businesses that were part of it, I'm sure, saw people that they didn't see before.
They did, yes, they did, and that was a success of the day. Yes.
I'm just very impressed because that's it's great leadership.
Well, it was. I mean, just visiting with you that day. I mean, it was fun that you were out and about and taking part of that, and you did seem a little incredulous that it happened so quickly and that it was run smoothly, but there wasn't a whole lot to run.
Incredulous, is that good?
I think that is that not. I think that's the right word. Incredulous.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I thought, it was kind of neat because I would run into people at this store, then I saw at the other store and another store, and we would kind of travel together in groups because you kind of, once you get on the loop, then everybody shuffles from the same store to the next store, and there's a little feeling of camaraderie that was out of that.
It was a concern for me comparing that to other events, like an art walk or a gallery walk. I was concerned that people might not want to drive to each location. And yes, we are in a very, it's a tight geographic area that those 5 businesses are located in, so it's not a lot of driving, but it was interesting to me to visit with folks that were participating in the loop, and they enjoyed that time in between. It gave them a chance to talk about what they had seen. Oh, I really liked this. I think we saw him at this show. And there were 2 older ladies that I visited with, and they said, and it gives us a chance to rest our feet. They were cute, and it was a good point. It was a good point. And there were several people that raised that concern when we were trying to put it together. Are people going to want to do this? But it seemed very well received, and I think because we are located so closely together, it's not an imposition to drive to.
Judging by your accent, you're not from Janesville. Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Arkansas. Grew up there, went to college there, taught.
And of course, it had to do with arts in some way?
I taught instrumental music. I was a band director, and taught there 6 years in the public schools, and then went to Utah, our alma mater, and got a degree in geography, my master's degree in geography. And
I should let everybody know the University of Utah is known for their geography program.
Yes, a very good geography program. And I taught some undergrad classes and things there, and at Weber State up in Ogden, and had some friends that were living in the Midwest and teaching at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, and had never spent any time here, and here I am.
So how long have you been in Janesville?
It's been 12 years, 12, 13 years.
How do you like it?
I like it. I like it. I think it was Barb Tabovitz that mentioned earlier, or maybe Christine. I don't remember which one of us it was.
One of the lovely ladies.
One of the lovely ladies that you interviewed earlier. We're close to Milwaukee. We're close to Madison. We're close to Chicago. It's a nice-sized town. The folks are great. I've enjoyed my time here immensely.
Because it's very interesting to me that somebody like yourselves, who is from another area, lived in some other place, and here you are in basically a third location, and you feel comfortable enough to open a business here, to invest in the community, and to make this part of your life. So I'm kind of curious what your experience been, and what made you feel that this is the place where you wanted to start to grow your business.
I had worked for Myers Frame and Stitch, which is the precursor to this business. We were a gallery. I started there in 1996 working for Stan, and we moved here later that year and opened Myers Frame and Stitch. So we had needlework and stitchery items, and we had limited edition prints, and we did framing. I worked for him, I guess it was 10 or 12 years, 10 years now. And then they retired in June of '07. I wasn't a stitcher, so it made no sense for me to keep that part of the store, although I hated losing that resource because there are many folks here in town that relied on it for specialty products. And it just wouldn't have fit me. So we closed that part of the store, and I brought in the local and regional artwork. Everything that's that you see on the walls is most of it, probably 90%.
How many artists do you have represented here?
There are about 55 of us right now, and 90% are within a 30-minute drive. So it's
like a farmer's market of art.
It's like a farmer's market of art. Yes. Yes.
So local producers.
Yeah.
And
for the most part.